Hi everybody. So I wanted to use this first video just to tell you a little bit more about myself and about my channel and kind of my hope for coming here. We're in these incredibly interesting times, right? And in the middle of so much change. And I think it's really reflective of where we are as human beings and our own ascension and our own awareness. And I just think now more than ever, you guys, we need each other. We need community and we need to share from each other. So I don't know about you guys, but along my journey of my spiritual journey, along my life, as I've kind of discovered myself in more depth and gotten freer, I have used tons of methods. I've read books. I've went to pilgrimages. I've studied with people. I have got educated. I have done so many different things in order to wake up. And there are people that have spoke to me, and there are people where I just couldn't get the message. It just didn't resonate with me. And it wasn't that the message was right or wrong. It just wasn't a voice that made sense to me, right? That connected with me. So I have been getting from my guides and from the universe and just from myself, my deepest part of myself, my higher self, that there's a whole community out there and we're supposed to be doing this together, right? We're supposed to be in this together. We're supposed to be sharing with each other. We're supposed to be learning for each other. And we came, specifically, you guys, we came to the world to help each other remember. And I will be a voice that speaks to some people, and there are other people I won't speak to. And that's okay. And I just say to people who, if I don't speak to you, go find somebody who does. Because there's so many people, you guys, there's so many people waking up, and there's so many people with an important message. And there's so many people that are reminding us of who we are. And it's just easier to do it. So I've spent a lot of my life as a therapist and working with people one-on-one. And I've spent a lot of my life in therapy, working with somebody else, right? And part of the thing that I've found from that is that I can figure out things. I am an intelligent being and I can figure out things, but I cannot figure them out as quickly and as easily as I do with somebody else. Because just that process, just talking to somebody, just sharing who I am is reflected back to me. And the more I do that and the more people I do that with, the more I get the right reflection, not the reflection that I got in the midst of trauma. So one of the messages I just wanted to share in this video is that we have stood in a place, right? We have stood in a place looking at life and looking at the world and looking at our ability to change the world and our ability to live our passion. We've looked at it through the lens of our past, through the story that we came in with. And it's just time, you guys, it's time to set that down. So for a lot of us, we've had the story of being unworthy, and we've had the story of not being enough and being broken, and we've had trauma, and we have trauma histories, and we've lived in that trauma history, right? So one of the things that I've found about my own life is that I have stood in that trauma and looked out ahead and said, what do I want? And I want to overcome that, and I want to walk out into the field, but I've been doing it still anchored in the old story, in the trauma. And we've gone back and revisited that old story. You know, this always happens to me. I keep picking the wrong people, the wrong relationships. I can't do this. I don't have it in me to do this. All of those old beliefs, right? They're old stories that just don't serve us anymore. And I think that right now we're in this golden era. We're in this golden time. And I know that that sounds crazy with everything that's going on in the world. But you guys, sometimes everything has to break apart for us to get to what's really needed. And sometimes that dismantling of the old is necessary. It's messy. It doesn't feel good. It it makes us question things, but it's necessary for something else to grow there, for something else much better. And what I'm finding in my own life, you guys, and really one of the conversations I want to have over and over and over again is, how do you step out of that old story, step out of that old place, and revisit it from a place of power and from a place of, I'm in my divinity and my greatness. So we are divine beings in a physical body. And our physical bodies, you guys, they're the cathedral that houses our soul. Our physical bodies are these incredible vehicles that we chose to come back with. We chose these bodies. I chose this specific body. And I've been mad at this body most of my life, and yet this is my strength. And my soul is in here. My soul is housed in my body. So it's an incredible package. It's an incredible gift. We just need to start shifting into that, and our life becomes magical. Our life becomes everything we've ever dreamt of, because that is our birthright, you guys. Our birthright is to live in that. Our birthright is to be in that, to be in our greatness, to be fully present, to show up as who we are as a human being, but show up with our higher self, fully engaged, fully intact, right? Reveling in the life that we've been given, that we have chosen. So I know that these are really crazy times, but you guys, we chose this time to come back. And if we chose this time to come back, we also came back with tools. We also came back with a way to maneuver and do beautiful things through this. So I'm just here to remind you guys of that. And I'm just going to come back. I'm just going to share my experience, what's going on, what I think is relevant, and hopefully help each of us, myself included, right, anchor deeper into that, anchor deeper into my higher self, anchor deeper into my love of all of me, not just part of me, you know, not just the parts that I think are good or the parts that I think are right, but all of me. And then walk out in the world with that, because it's a completely different experience, you guys. It's completely different than anything we've ever experienced before. That totality of who we are is what we are meant to discover. And my presence right now is to work with you guys. Like, I'm not coming on here to share something that you don't already know. I just think we're here together to remember and to remind each other of who we are, and to mirror back to each other who we are, so that we can live these lives that we know, you know, deep inside our souls, you guys. The only thing when we have contrast in our life is that clarity that comes from that. You have that clarity because you know what's possible. So I hope that you will stick with me. I hope that I speak to you, and I hope you'll stick with me. And then I hope you'll share with your friends, and that our community can grow and we can help each other remember who we really are. See you soon.